Hello everyone and welcome to Terraria. This isn't the normal Calamity, but instead I'm here to talk about the newly updated Thorium mod. So, I saw that this was kind of a big deal for people a while back, and I'm going to be honest, I hadn't heard of Thorium up to that point. So, curious, I decided, alright, I'll check it out. I went ahead and did a journey run, did a more or less vanilla one, just with God mode on, and, well, pretty much just allowing myself quicker mining and not using 2,000 potion slots thanks to another mod, thank goodness. But overall, after playing through the mod, here's what I've got to say. I love this mod. This was a great expansion to the Terraria experience. It's not something like, I don't know, you're having to go deal with. I don't know how to say it. It's just something that's better about this than the normal Terraria experience. And I think that comes down to the fact that this isn't trying to be Calamity. This isn't trying to be a Terraria Deluxe. This is instead trying to be a Terraria expansion. This isn't the continuation of the game. This is the base game, but improved. And it's improved in a lot of ways. Whether that be through a few extra crafting recipes for things like accessories. I know Calamity has those, but this is by doing things like fishing, which gives fishing more of a use, even though it does make me scream for a while, because I cannot get jungle crates for the life of me. I spent 2 hours, Thorium! Where are my jungle crates? Aside from that, though, the bonus crafting recipes are nice, but also just the smaller amount of extra items in comparison to Calamity. Calamity, like I said, adds an entire new branch of the game, and that's great in its own right. But having this feeling that you really are in the endgame by playing through Thorium, and it actually is the endgame when you're fighting Moonlord and whatnot, except for Primordials, which may also be Fargo's mod, a separate thing for that coming soon. Well, soon-ish. Either way, this allows you to play the game that you love if you love Terraria without polluting it with too much extra mechanics. There's no Wolfram, there's no new, not a ton of new bosses. There are new bosses, obviously, with things like the Grand Thunderbird and Queen Jellyfish. But a lot of these are just simple, easy. They're not anything over the top, overdone. Nothing that's just too much. It's just the right amount of bonus for the early game in terms of resources and bosses, as well as just an updated world generation that makes the game feel very smooth, because there is now a naturally spawning graveyard. There are more chests in the underground that are more clear, which, thank goodness, especially on the lava layer, because that was absolutely awful. I will say I have had trouble with getting blue mushroom seeds to spawn, because I've been trying to get the truffle in my world, so I can get, I guess a pseudo 100% file, you could call it. But I cannot get the truffle to spawn because there's no seeds spawning. I don't know if that's a bug or if I'm just getting incredibly unlucky. I do not know. The additions to things like the classes, of course there's new weapons for each classes. I did not notice any new armor sets. But I think the weapons are fine, because the weapons themselves are very fun and very enjoyable. With ones that I'm using, like right now, for the melee class, which is just a big old explosive boom boom. And then this one, which is even post-Moonlord, which is just a big old yeet hammer that causes tsunamis and crap. They're all really interesting, and they feel like they're an expansion to the class that also allows more variety. Essence of Flame is another pillar weapon, actually. And I think that's cool because Daybreak is fun. The other one that looks like a giant worm on a string is also fun. But this one kind of gives back to the projectile ones. Almost like the Knight's Edge, True Knight's Edge, things like that. I like weapons like this. I like swords like this. They're fun. This all being said, the bosses are not completely balanced, I'll say. They're all very well balanced, but they're not completely balanced. They have some that are just really, really pathetically weak. But on the plus side, there is a boss rush kind of deal that I cannot activate because I already did the maximum one. And why can't I activate this? I want to beat them up again! Yeah, there's pre-hard mode. There is one with the... I know this is all Fargo's, but I figured I'd bring this up. Because doing it with the modded stuff is actually really interesting. Because another thing I noticed is maybe the final boss is bugged? Primordial's Doomslayer coin, unless I'm playing the game completely wrong, it doesn't summon them. Like, I don't get it. What is the requirement? I ran through the world, I was in the underworld, I was in the overworld, I tried just about everything. But it's just like, it doesn't work. It says night, I mean, I even tried at night, but it just didn't work. I don't know. Maybe it's something about the other mods I'm playing with? Who knows? But the last thing that I feel like is more important, or, well, last of two things, is there are 3 whole new classes that are very well fleshed out and very, very fun looking. I've not gotten to play a whole run with them yet. I am doing each of them on their own right now in a normal expert world. But, oh my gosh, they're so much fun. The way they added classes was there is the Thrower class, which can be seen like Calamity's Rogue, and then there is a Healer class and a Bard class, which is awesome, honestly. I love these new classes because they feel like they actually have more of a support role, and I think it helps out melee play a bit more, because melee up to this point is just, well, I mean, you're melee. Even with the whole overhaul to the melee system, it's still melee. So it's not like there's anything super impressive going on. It's just melee. But with the things like the healer class and the bard, it's super interesting because, I mean, it feels like there's more. It feels like the melees are going to get stronger, and some people who want to play a little more reckless, maybe like a summoner going in for a more whip build, they get to play a little more reckless. It's not completely safe, obviously, but it allows you something. So, I mean, might as well take what you can get. And then Bard class seems to be more support-oriented, just buffing, if I'm not mistaken. It's one that I can't actually tell completely. It's really strange. It's fun though. It's fun though. All of the classes have been really fun, and I like the adjustments they've made to everything to feel like it was an expansion on Terraria instead of a new game in a sense. Because like I said, that's what Calamity feels like, a new game. Meanwhile, Thorium feels like an expansion. And the best thing about all that expansion is quality of life. Holy crap. So many quality of life changes. I love you for this one, Thorium mod creators. There is just so much nice stuff. So much nice stuff that I encountered in this mod after turning off Fargo's in my normal survival. And it just made, like, I do not gripe about Terraria. I think Terraria, in its core, was built really well and is a lot of fun. But it's not perfect. So, you know what? When I saw that almost all my problems were completely wiped out, I was absolutely ecstatic. Because that was awesome. I could play it without even having to worry about anything. There were still a few that were like, could be a little better. But for the most part, it feels great. I love it. And I think the best feature out of all this is just the really stupid and silly stuff they added for the sake of it being there. My personal favorite of all of these would be the, I mean, yeah. Yeah, how bad could it be to summon several Betsies, you know? we'll just take this, prepare the dragon egg tray, and